A man is in custody after a 7-hour-long standoff with Tulsa Police. Thank you so much for sticking with us. I'm Shannon Russo.
I'm Brian Dorman. Officers say that guy used a sword to cut a hole into the wall, trying to get into a neighbor's apartment. How bizarre. News on 6's Amy Avery joining us now live near Memorial on I-44 with the very latest on this situation. Amy?
Well, Brian and Shannon, Tulsa police spent hours today trying to get Peter DeMonte out of his apartment, and eventually, after about 7 hours, he surrendered peacefully to officers and was taken into custody. Now, Tulsa police officers say a neighbor called 911 saying DeMonte was going through a mental health crisis. Officers say DeMonte had used a sword to cut through the wall of a neighbor's apartment and made threats toward the neighbor. They say he also threatened to set his apartment building on fire. Officers say they got all of the neighbors out safely and started communicating with DeMonte using a loudspeaker and also sending him texts. They say he texted back that he was barricading himself inside with all of his weapons. Officers used tear gas multiple times throughout the day, and they say DeMonte eventually came out on his own.
It causes no injury to him, no injury to the officers, and it gets a very desired result, which is exactly what we had here today. It took a while, but when we're talking about someone's life, taking a while is always the best thing because it actually worked.
Now, officers tell us DeMonte actually thanked them when he came out for not using deadly force. He's being booked on first-degree burglary, assault with a dangerous or deadly weapon, and threatening a violent act complaints. Brian?
Amy, how are neighbors reacting?
Well, Brian, we were out here for several hours today, and there were probably about 10 or 15 neighbors that were just watching on along with us. I also spoke with a neighbor who lives nearby who told me she's lived here for about 15 years and was really surprised when she came out and saw all of the police cars on her street. But thankfully, this all ended peacefully.
Amy Avery live for us near I-44 Memorial this afternoon. Amy, thank you so much for that update.